January meeting of the Batavia Park Board of Commissioners, the regular board meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Riley.
Here.
Dorsey, absent. Tillman.
Here.
Gray.
Here.
Callahan.
Aye. Motion is here. We have a quorum to conduct business. So the first item we have is to open a public hearing on our budget and appropriations ordinance. Do you want to make an explanation of what this is, or should we just go with it? So,
It's up to you.
no, go right ahead. I mean, just for the benefit of the public as to what this is.
Yeah, this is just basically by state law, we're required to post the budget for public inspection for a 30-day period. It has been posted for a 30-day period, and then they're also invited to come and comment on the budget before it's a final approval.
Okay, great. And so this is the tail end of that 30-day cycle. We will open a public hearing and entertain public comment. So I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing and for budget and appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey, absent. Callahan.
Aye. So we will open the floor for public comment.
It's a madhouse.
No, it's okay. We're good. Just in case we have any last-minute folks running in from the parking lot. Just want to make sure we afford them a little bit of time.
There's somebody.
7:05?
We'll give it a minute.
They're a gammon.
All right. So not seeing anyone in the public who wishes to address us or has any questions, we will close the public hearing at 7:05. Do I need a motion to close? Or the chair can close? Chair can close. Excellent. So we are adjourned from our public hearing, and we will be resuming the balance of our agenda. So, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any items to be added, removed, or changed on the agenda?
There is not.
There's none. All right. So I would entertain a motion to establish the consent agenda as follows. Approval of the regular board meeting minutes of December 18, 2017. Approval of the minutes for the executive session for December 18, 2017. Approval of the paid expenditures. Expense approvals report, investment summary, income statement, purchases, extension of the IMET tolling agreement, and special use permit for Windmill City Fest.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion on any of those individual items? Hearing none, shall I please call the roll?
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey, absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries.
Great, thank you. We can move forward with Windmill City Festival plans then.
Oh, we have to approve the consent agenda. Hang on one
Still
second.
has to be.
So I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as established.
So moved.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I think
Motion carries. Yes, now.
Now you can go for
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome. Guest matters from the public. We have no guests here tonight, so we will forego that agenda item, and I will move on to matters from the commissioners. Anyone wanted to address or have anything they want to say tonight?
It's a quiet evening.
It is. Well, I just want to say I did appreciate the opportunity to speak briefly at the staff appreciation dinner Saturday night. And it's always nice to see everybody kind of in a other than work mode, right? Kick back and had some fun. That's great. And I was very happy to be there. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished this year and what you guys have done. So it was my pleasure to be there. So.
It was very well received.
My pleasure. Okay, next item on the agenda is correspondence. And we had one letter of appreciation from the Illinois Park and Recreation Association to Director Niemela for time and energy given as past chair in 2013, and the Unplug Illinois campaign, which I have to make a statement now. That Unplug Illinois, I've read that thing cover to cover, and I appreciate you giving the board members an opportunity. That is an outstanding piece.
Oh, thank
Really.
you.
No, it really, really is. And I think that, as I travel around and talk to other park districts, I'm surprised that they don't know about it, or at least they.
We do have a conference session. Katie Drum is actually going to be presenting.
Yeah.
It's a panel of 5 other marketing professionals that will be joining her, and I'm just a moderator for it. But to spread the word about
Absolutely.
Unplug Illinois.
Yeah.
And show examples and try to get people excited about the campaign to buy that kit themselves.
Sure.
too.
I have 3 or 4 others that I'm going to send your way, because I just think it was very well done. I kind of like that stuff, so I spent some time with it. I think you guys did a great job on it, so congratulations. Okay, next item on the agenda is the most important, which is announcements.
Most important. Well, first off, we just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Everyone in the room as well as everybody out there watching. So happy 2018. Just to get stuff started off too, we know there's a number of preschool options in the area, and it can always be really overwhelming to figure out what's the right fit for you. So we encourage you to stop by the New Horizons Preschool Open House on Tuesday, January 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m., where you can meet the teachers, you can explore all the classrooms, and learn more about our play-based program that we offer. And your kids are welcome too. You can schedule a private tour if you're not able to make it, or if you just want to do that on your own. You can always contact Lori McDonald, who's the recreation supervisor, to learn more. And her email is LoriM, LORIM, at BataviaParks.org. And there's so many wonderful organizations dedicated to making the Tri-City area a great place to live, work, and play. And many of those could not operate without the help of people like you. So we welcome and encourage everyone to join and check out the showcase of local resources on Saturday, February 3rd from 10 a.m. to noon at the Eastside Community Center, which is located at 14 North Van Buren. So this is the Community Resource and Volunteer Fair. You can chat with representatives from local groups. You can find out more about how you can get involved and donate your time, expertise, and resources. And then dads, daughters, ages 3 and up, not the dads, the daughters, will dance the night away at the popular Daddy-Daughter Date Night on Friday, February 2nd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Rotolo Middle School. The night will include dancing, entertainment, games, photo booth, and more. And we will be offering a special dad raffle again this year. The cost is $30 per couple, and there's a dinner option at Paljoy's, as well as a special corsage option provided by Paragon Flowers that are both available prior to the event for an additional fee.
And just to clarify, we're not raffling off dads.
There it is.
We're not raffling off dads. We're raffling off lovely, locally donated prizes from Batavia businesses, so there will not be any dads to win. So I'm sorry to inform you of that. And last but not least, brides, don't let the stress of wedding planning get you down. Stop by the district's 3rd annual bridal showcase on Saturday, February 24th from 9 a.m. to noon at historic Shannon Hall. You can chat with local vendors and enter win a number of raffle prizes. You cannot win a bride. Sorry about that. A variety of vendors will be on hand, including photographers, florists, DJs, bakers, and much more. And new this year, we're actually going to be hosting a something borrowed bridal swap during the event. So all you former brides out there, you can donate your gently used wedding items February 17th through the 23rd at the Eastside Community Center. And you can let the budget-savvy bride browse items during Saturday's showcase. So you can give us a call at 630-879-5235 for more details on that event. And of course, you can always visit our website, bataviaparks.org, for more details. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda is staff reports. So let's start with any staff updates.
Turn the microphone on. I'll talk about some project keys in a little bit, but the folks at the Depot Museum are very excited to let our residents know that with all the exciting stuff that's going on down there, they can now be followed on Instagram. They have a new Instagram page, and it is at Batavia Depot. That's @ Batavia Depot. So please check it out. Lots of good pictures and stuff.
Yeah, they already have a bunch of pictures up there already, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
You good? We were doing exciting stuff this past month. Year end is always busy for finance. We're doing things like updating.
Is there a
payroll.
month that isn't busy for finance?
I think he's catching up.
That was a nervous laugh.
I think he's catching on to my point. I always started off that way too. But things like updating payroll, year-end tax processing, and then also I will have the auditors in my office next week, so getting ready information for them. The budget book is still under construction. It is very close, but we want to make sure it's pristine before it's sent out. So that will be emailed directly to the board and then advertised once put online for the general public. But there's lots of good information in there with additional narrative to express what it is we plan to accomplish in the 2018 year.
Great.
That is it for me.
Well, I have a reputation of having a pretty good relationship with Mother Nature, which is a good thing for the Parks Department, of course. But I'd have to say that on January 6th, when we had the post-to-present event on the Depot Pond, celebrating the 60th anniversary of the historic painting there, all the stars lined up, and we had an absolute gorgeous day. If we had it this past Saturday,
Not so
we
much.
would have been
Or this coming
swimming down
Saturday,
there.
yeah, same thing.
So it just goes to show you how quickly the weather can change here, and then to quickly remind everybody about ice safety. As we get later in the season, you just can't be very confident about going out on the ice. We have a flag system in place down at the Depot Pond. Green means that it's safe to go on all the ice that's cleared. And then if you see a red flag, please do not venture out to test if we are right or not. Currently, the rink is open, but I've been told by my friend, Mother Nature, that it's going to warm up by week's end.
She whispered in your ear.
So please be aware of the flag system. That's what I have.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're just jumping right into it this year with the marketing department. We're promoting, obviously, the upcoming Daddy-Daughter Date Night, Community Resource Expo, Bridal Showcase. All those are just around the corner. We're currently working on the text proof of the spring brochure, but I'm pretty excited. We do a special insert in the brochure every year. And for the spring brochure, we're going to do a giveaway for a seed packet. So part of our theme this year, which is Branch Out Batavia, we're encouraging people to plant their potential and watch it grow this year. So you can actually stop by the Civic Center and the Eastside Community Center and pick up a seed packet to plant and grow at home at your leisure.
And as you can tell, Eric is pleased it's a parks theme.
It is a very parky theme this year, and we're going to work with the Parks Department. Eric, you don't know about this yet. You do?
Good time.
Oh, she told you about it? Okay, good. We're going to grow some of our own here at the Park District, and we're going to do a fun social sort of documentation of the growing of the plant and encourage families to share that growing process as well, but also thinking about ways they can branch out this year. So those will be released with the February 19th tentative delivery date for the spring brochure.
Awesome.
So
What kind of seeds? Anything in particular?
we're actually going to do Shasta daisies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have to give Katie a lot of credit too. She went as far as checking with our printer to see if we could get seed paper that people can actually plant. She went as far looking into innovative possibilities, even inserting seeds within the Park District catalog, but it was cost prohibitive, and we found out that the seeds and the seed paper actually become sterilized in the printing process, which would defeat our purpose.
Yeah. It was a nice idea.
But keep thinking that way. That's good.
Concept, yeah.
That's out of the
Concept
box
was
thinking.
brilliant. Logistically, that wasn't going to work out. So we came up with Plan B. But Yeah, so we encourage you guys if you guys want to spread that word next month. And then we have conference this week, and so we, of course, welcome any of you that are also attending conference. We will be part of the agency showcase. We are in 4 categories this year: print communication, paid advertisement, brochure, and large format marketing. We'll be highlighting the annual report, a celebration of lights, a festival advertisement, our very popular quarterly brochure, and then we're actually doing the South River Walk flags as our large format marketing. So we're very excited about that. And,
Nice.
so hopefully you guys can go check it out. There's lots of great stuff part of that event. And then last but not least, in light of Acuity's finally releasing all of the community survey results, I would love the park boards sort of, maybe a little, just some insight and some direction on if you would like to see those results perhaps as an insert in the summer brochure or as part of the annual report. Those are 2 options we could go this year, and there are pros and cons to going either way. So if you guys have an opinion about that or
Sure.
want to provide any insight, I welcome any questions you may have.
Katie and I have talked about it both ways, and we really felt that it would be best as a board decision because we can do a highlight reel, and really it's just a matter of timing as well, right? The summer brochure, what is the month for that?
They're pretty close, actually. So the summer brochure comes out in mid-April, and we usually get the annual report out by the first week in May. So there's only a couple of weeks difference.
So we could do an insert in one or the other. Both are hand-delivered to the non-Batavia, City of Batavia residents.
I think people are probably more likely to look at the brochure. Don't you? I would just think people are more likely to look at that than the annual report.
I think there's definitely more visibility with the brochure, but there's also a lot of more competition of things to look at. So there's
Okay,
there's
true.
so yeah, there's the pros and
Okay.
cons.
I think, I mean, if you want to put now, I think we should use the brochure as a teaser, and the bulk of the information should be in the annual report, my opinion. And I think it should be in both places, only because some people will look at that, some people won't.
Yep.
So it would be nice for those that don't, that at least they'll be aware that something else is coming. And it may be a unique way to have something that's a bit of a teaser.
Sure.
Some information, maybe not all of it, expanded, but I think it could be a fun way to kind of play with it a little bit, because the brochure tends to be a little lighter, and the annual report's a little more serious.
So we can play with infographics
Yeah.
differently too.
Right. Just a thought. I mean,
Yeah.
you have some opinion,
Yeah.
so I'm going to get one. if you
Either
have.
way, we do want to have a digital copy of it up on our website so that it would be available.
Right, and
to
maybe
us
the
to connect
brochure
people that way.
points in that direction.
Sure.
And those people who want to have something in their hand, they can, anyway, my thoughts.
You guys have any preference too? Any other people?
I'm good either way. I like the idea of doing both, because when I'm given an option of this one or that one, I just say both.
That's an easy way of it.
He can make a decision.
Right, I made a decision.
So when you're looking at the dessert menu, you
Right.
can't
Right.
choose.
I always say both.
All right, any board comments on the staff?
Yeah, I wanted to comment, even though the event that was at the depot was fantastic, the weather was great, and I know there are a lot of people that were there noticed that there were bald eagles flying over the entire time, but that following week, when there was no skating, the bald eagles were catching fish, and a friend of mine drove in from Arlington Heights and was standing on the bridge just watching them do this for a long time, and that's the kind of, so even though the ice skating may be closed this weekend, there's still plenty to do and see down there, and that some of the pictures that were posted are just amazing to see these animals do that, and it's spectacular. So don't skate, but at least come down there to see that stuff. So that, I mean, it was a great event, and then a lot of great pictures were posted, but those were really spectacular too. So not only did Mother Nature, like the birds showed up for us too.
The fish are less than.
The fish are less happy about the whole
Eric
event.
ordered those eagles.
Say what?
Eric ordered those
Oh,
eagles.
yeah, I think he
Yeah.
did. They came in a box and just.
He told the city that he invoiced them
Oh, okay.
for
The Eagles were
special
very
order.
happy, though.
Yeah. Fish not so
No,
much.
it's not so- It's cold outside, right? You gotta eat.
Right.
Anyone else? Any other comments on staff reports? All right, Allison, Executive Director's Report, you up for it tonight?
I am.
All
I
right.
put together a highlight reel of 2017 and things to look forward to in 2018, but I am going to sit in Commissioner Dorsey's spot, so my neck is in healing mode right now from surgery, so I don't want to
And I'm going
overdo
to
it.
back up so you can see that clearly and not have to just sit straight.
Sorry, I've got to rebuild my muscles.
You need to sit turned.
And this is Leo. He's the poster child for 2017.
It's not a Batavia Park.
Yep, we're looking for 2018 poster children.
Are you saying I don't update my things quick enough?
Yeah, it's
I'm
exactly.
going to take over the social media posting.
Leo is a very personal young man, though, I have to say, and when he was waiting for Santa, he was very anxious to make sure he got in there as soon as possible.
Even not so much.
So as we stated, you know what, this is going to be a highlight reel of 2017 of where we've been, and then we're going to end it with a flavor, a teaser of 2018, what's yet to come. Next. All right, so the Depot Museum expansion project kicked off in 2017, and staff continues to work closely with the Batavia Historical Society as we work towards, or help them work towards their fundraising goal. To date, they do have up to, is it $560,000?
Yeah, just shy of 600,000.
So it's looking very promising for them that the fundraising efforts are helping, and they are currently engaging with a consultant to help them with fundraising. Just on that same note about since we're talking about the Depot Museum, the volunteerism at the museum broke a previous record at clocking over 1,700 donated hours, which is pretty incredible. Next. Last year, there was a fresh coat of paint for the water tower, as you can see from the before and after. A nice facelift down there at the Depot Museum. Next. Facility rentals continue to experience strong growth, coming in $10,000 over projected revenues in the budget. So the district hosted the Bridal Showcase last February to highlight the newly renovated Shannon Hall and other local services in an effort to boost wedding facility rentals. The showcase was very successful, and we're offering it again in 2018. But as I said, we came in $10,000 over budget, which is, events like this have really helped. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Starfish Aquatics conducted 3 unannounced audits of the Hull Quarry Beach's safety standards. The quarry staff performed exceptionally well, scoring 5 stars on the final 2 audits. You can tell we're all over the place with there isn't a lot of transition from one slide to the next just because there's such a wide variety of things that we do. From the 7,000 nominations whittled down to the top 125 businesses, the Batavia Park District ranked number 12 this year in the small employer category. And congratulations to the Park Board and staff who work so passionately at what we do to bring parks and recreation to our constituents, and just so happen to have staff that feels valued and appreciated while we're doing it. Next. This last year, in 2017, we hired Acuity Research and Insights Incorporated. We contracted with them to perform a community-wide needs assessment. Multiple survey formats were sent to every resident within the district. Everyone should have received a postcard of some sort. And we ended up with 761 respondents, well over our target of 600. The surveys were designed to collect information on the district's current performance and what we can be doing better to meet the needs of our constituents. The data collected from this process will be used to develop the 2018 Strategic Master Plan. 2017, we had the successful completion of the Paderma Loss Control Review, much thanks to the Park District Safety Committee, which oversees each department's safety goals. The review is done by our risk management pool, which we call Paderma, Park District Risk Management Agency, to ensure that proper policies and procedures are in place to maximize workplace safety and minimize liability exposure. The overall score for the district on the review was 97.29%. The marketing department dedicated the new, we like to say doggy, agility equipment at the Bark Park last summer. They celebrated a wonderful, generous donation from one of our community sponsors, and the Parks Department did the installation, which saved us a lot of money. The dedication took place in late September and was very well attended. So now we have even more features out at the dog park. There was new and improved landscaping at the Hall Quarry Beach. The landscape block that you see was recycled from the property at 315 South River prior to its demolition. So we were able to recycle old landscaping and beautify the Hall Quarry Beach in the process. Also, since we're at the Parks Department right now, the Parks Department began harvesting their own seeds and developing their own greenhouse indoors, saving last year the Park District $7,000 in purchasing new plants. Much kudos to Kim Hansen and Eric Locker from the Parks Department for the vision and foresight to see this happen. Okay, this is a pretty awkward picture here, but it's actually the
Very
lodge.
appropriate if you're a plumber.
Yes, that's true. He's wearing a belt.
Yes, right.
The lodge at Laurelwood received new ADA compliant bathrooms and a custodial utility sink. So we had to give you the before and after pictures so you can see quite the difference there. And we've received a lot better facility reviews at the lodge at Laurelwood, and staff firmly believes that the bathrooms do have a lot to do with it. Also, we need to mention what happened in our playgrounds, what took place last year. The playgrounds at both Fiddler Farm and Prairie Path Park were replaced last year. The designs for both playgrounds were chosen during a public open house in December of 2016. Construction on both play areas started in March with the removal of the equipment from both parks by the Kids Around the World organization. The completion was done, or the construction completion was done by the end of June. And that particular post, as you can see, reached 73,000 people. That was by
Very,
far.
very popular.
Yes, and that was a video. Yes, great publicity for Kids Around the World and the Batavia Park District. There's Mr. Jim Eby, our Director of Capital Projects. The district worked with Upland Design to update the master plan for West Main Community Park. In light of a new focus by the King County Division of Transportation on the realignment of Bliss Road, it was felt by the Park Board that it was time to look at how the master plan could be made to work with the road's current design. The update was completed late last summer and shared with KDOT. That was one of our open houses that we had last year. And now we're moving to 2018. So things that we have to look forward to in 2018. This is the staff announcement to the Park Board that the Batavia Park District was selected as the Illinois Park and Recreation Association's destination for the 12th annual Park Pursuit, which is like an amazing race. So we're going to have 400 professionals wandering our streets on May 3rd, 2018. We're going to bring a lot of tourism here for an all-day event. It's a scavenger hunt. There will be teams. We're hoping to get some news publicity from some of the bigger ABC, CBS, NBC networks. But Batavia will be the location. And the Park District, the team is led by Katie Drum now. And there's a committee that put together a proposal, and IPRA accepted the proposal. And we're going to be moving up and down the Fox River. I heard that Geneva and St. Charles are a little jealous. But we're really thrilled. Batavia Creamery is one of many businesses that's participating. So it's a great partnership. Batavia Main Street knows about it now. The Chamber's involved. So it's really going to put Batavia on the map with all of the, in fact, any park district or park and rec department within the state of Illinois can participate.
Awesome.
So that's great news, and you'll hear about it at conference. You're going to see this logo, which was designed by our own graphic designer, Miriam McKee.
Huh. I kind of sensed there was some influence on them. Congratulations, that's great.
And this is going to be the year for the new strategic master plan. So Acuity Research and Insights is going to deliver the final needs assessment results in February. They're coming back to our park board. They're going to deliver the entire summary, and at that point, the summary will be available to the public, and we will provide as many highlight reels in a bite-sized pieces that people can digest it at one sitting. We will be providing more information to the public as it becomes available. But we're really excited because this needs assessment will feed the strategic master plan, and it will shape our future. Next. 2018 is also going to be the year of a full-time compensation study. We currently have 33 full-time employees, and it's going to be a benchmarking study looking at the market research from all of the park districts within the state of Illinois. At next month's board meeting, we're going to have the Management Association, which is the premier partner for all human resources professionals. And the Management Association is going to be in attendance at next month's board meeting, and they're going to ask the park board a couple of questions as to what you would like to have that benchmarking be. Should we look at just park districts, or should we look at park districts a blended rate with the nonprofits? Because sometimes when we lose people from our park district, sometimes it's to a nonprofit. So we want to look at what's competitive and makes the most sense from a benchmarking standpoint. So we can look forward to that next month's board meeting. And something very much, I know Tara is going to be very excited. This is her neighborhood. 2018 marks the year for new playgrounds and park improvements to Big Woods Park and Payne Woods Park. So you could say we're taking care of the woods this year. So we will be working with Upland Design, our landscape architect firm of choice, and really enhancing what we built 15 years ago. That time is up. So the people have spoken. They've already chosen their playground selections. So it's just a matter of waiting for the ice to melt and Eric to switch a different lever for spring. And so the ground can thaw and we can start working on the playgrounds and other enhancements. And last, I have to save the best for last. This is the year that the park board and staff have made it a priority to reconstruct the Eastside Community Center parking lots. So this is the parking lot just on a rainy day. You can see there's some major drainage issues. And actually, that's not the part that looks like ground beef, but there is a part that is pretty gravelly.
That's the best part of the right there.
Yes, John said it.
Yeah.
John just said it. That's the best part of the parking lot right there. But this is going to be the year that we are looking forward to the re-engineering and reconstruction of that lot. In addition to the next slide, which is the New Horizons playground, the New Horizons preschool playground will be moved and redeveloped, and it will actually become a neighborhood park, not just a preschool playground, but a preschool playground and neighborhood park for the community to enjoy. So more plans, or this plan will be delivered at another park board meeting, so you can see up close what the New Horizons preschool teachers have been working on. But staff is very excited and eager to see it all come together, to see the big picture between the parking lot and the playground come together as one. And that, my friends, is a wrap.
Terrific. It's exciting. Thank you for sharing.
My voice held out.
Yeah,
All right, so with that, I guess we'll go right into capital development plan progress report.
Well, as Allison indicated, we are going to be replacing the two playgrounds at Big Woods Park and at Payne Woods Park this year. I'm meeting tomorrow with our landscape architecture consultants to review the construction documents at a 90% completion, and I got word today from the folks at Kids Around the World that they are going to be removing, again, these
Right.
two sets of playgrounds. For those that aren't familiar, Kids Around the World is an organization based in Rockford that removes existing playground equipment refurbishes it, and then takes it overseas to third world and developing countries, reinstalls it using local labor, teaching construction skills, as well as providing a brand-new kind of play environment for kids that literally have never been on a playground. You may have seen or heard earlier this winter, we were told that one of the ones that just came, the 5 to 12 age playground that came out of Prairie Path Park last spring was installed in Fiji in a park.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, you know, all the gorgeous flowers and the blue sky and the palm trees and the playground equipment is like on a beach. I mean, it's
Staff is already starting to GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah, right, for sure.
pretty fabulous. So,
That's awesome.
We now have 3 playgrounds across the world somewhere. And as I say, they'll be coming in as soon as we can. They worked in the snow last year in March to remove the one from Fiddler and from Prairie Path. So that will be a good thing. And it's actually a cost savings to us. We don't have to pay for the demolition of that equipment. We will be moving that one forward, and the parking lot and the playgrounds, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's going to happen this
Be
year.
busy this year.
Going to be busy. It's all good to be busy.
Yeah, it's good to be busy. Excellent.
May I add on one bit to my executive director's report?
Absolutely.
Since it wasn't a part of my slideshow, I forgot to mention it. But we have closed the application process for the Director of Community Recreation position. We've received 116 applications.
Wow.
And there are 4 internal applicants. So we are knee-deep in the hiring process. I'm working closely with Amy Sorrow, the new Human Resources and Risk Manager, and we have a lot of high-caliber candidates. We're super excited. So we're looking to hire or have someone in place at the beginning of March. So we have phone interviews tomorrow, and then first round and finalists will follow.
Terrific.
But I wanted to share with the board that, you know, we're underway and
That's great.
looking forward to conference as well, because we'll get to see quite a few of those people at conference. So
Great.
have the informal interview process.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Allison, for that update. And next item on the agenda would be item 14A, the approval of ordinance number 374, fiscal year 2018 budget and appropriations. So having had our public hearing, or better yet, having had our budget on display for 30 days and having just completed our public hearing at the beginning of this meeting, this ordinance is essentially to approve the budget and appropriations moving forward as it was presented. So I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 374, the budget and appropriations ordinance as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shirley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Excellent. You guys got it.
Thank you. Now we can make those 2018 events actually happen.
Now they can actually go through. Start working.
Terrific. All right, so the next item on the agenda is 14B, the purchase of property located at 115 South River Street. So this has been something that we've been talking about for a while, and this is consistent with our objective and our very generous benefactor. So I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of property at 115 South River Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion on this item?
Yes. What? There's no pricing or anything in here, so it's just like a blank thing. It's an odd motion that I said I entertained the motion so that I can have the discussion, but it just seems empty.
The price was negotiated at $210,000 per your direction.
Okay.
And we'll be closing, I believe, by the 31st, or on the 31st of
I
January.
just wanted to make sure what happened with
Yeah.
the negotiations
You're
from
all-
Yeah, I
last
wasn't here
time.
last month, so
Yep.
thanks very much. So we're good then?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you for asking.
Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent, Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. We now have another property on River Street. That's great. All right. The next item on the agenda requires a little explanation. So, the two properties, 13 North Prairie and 27 North Prairie, are slotted, or were slotted to be demolished, razed, in order to facilitate the parking lot installation and betterment, beautification of that entire east side property. Subsequent to that, we've had some conversations, and there's some potential interest in someone purchasing at least one of those units or one of those. However, it can't stay on the property. It's not purchase in place, it's purchase and relocate. So I guess I want to make sure, and maybe I'll just do, I think I'm going to forego the motion yet because it may need to be modified, because my understanding is that right now there's only one person interested in one house.
That is correct.
Okay.
Prior to the meeting, I met with Jim briefly, and we actually also phone conferenced with Dirk, because he's kind of been working with
Sure.
Allison and myself on this. If you should decide to do this, we would have to create, there would be a process created that would then provide a proposal kind of process that
Right.
people would give, we have to set a time frame up and all that stuff.
Right, because this is public property,
It
we
is
can't
public.
sell to an individual seller. It has to go
Correct.
to basically the free market, and it has to be bid on, if you will.
And this is
or-
really kind of a
Exactly, equal
strange,
opportunity.
kind of a odd situation in that we declared them surplus property, the buildings and the contents last month. And since by doing that, and because we're not selling the property, the real estate underneath them, it's just going to be a sale kind of process, or a proposal process where folks will be given the opportunity to submit a proposal. I'll pay you X to purchase this structure and move it somewhere.
And that's why I think that this motion needs to be rewritten to be a little bit more exact. Because the motion actually says approval of sale of properties.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. There's all sorts of caveats and everything else that's involved with this. I'd like to, understand how it's going to be moved, if it can be moved, all of that. And it's a huge structure to try to pick up and move anywhere on very narrow streets, right? With, I believe, above ground wires.
Yeah.
So I just like to, if, before any of this that we have in front of us, I'd like to understand a little bit more about how any buyer is going to come in and try to move that structure.
Okay. I can tell you that I spoke today with the person that is interested in the one structure. He tells me he has met with two companies that would be moving the structures, and that he is moving full force. I've had a discussion with the folks, with our building commissioner at the city, to try to better understand on our end what he would be required to do. And because it's in the historic district, he would have to go through the historic process, the approval process with the Historic Preservation Commission, which will take several months. He would also probably have to get some zoning regulations, variances, or they would have to determine what that would be. I don't know that there have been a whole lot of, at least recently, that they can tell me, structures moved in town.
I can't remember.
No, I can't either.
In fact, the city even had to look into it further. They're looking for their resources
And where
to
it would
find out
go and
more.
how it would get there is
Well,
it's the most interesting part to me, and how that would be done. I'd like
and
more
that's
information on that.
really up to,
I understand that, but our name is still attached to it. Okay,
Yeah.
and so we're still responsible, in the optics of any disruption that might happen on moving that structure, even though it's not us that's moving it.
Yeah.
We're giving our blessing to move it. I just want to understand more about it before we move forward with this. And I want to understand what it does to our timelines for all that property. Can we still tear down the other house? Can we, what happens with any engineering studies or whatnot going on with that parking lot? The fact that other house is still sitting there until X day when it's finally moved. There's a lot of questions I think that we have to answer before I can move forward.
I can tell you part of that.
Okay.
A timeline, it will, without question, set us back significantly. My city contact said that with the zoning stuff and the historic preservation process, and then he has to go through all of the building permit process. He has to have construction documents drawn and all of that, that very likely it would be mid to late-ish summer before he would even get a building permit that
put in
would
the
then allow
foundation.
him to start the process of moving structure and preparing a site for structure, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that, all that, that's utilities, that's everything. The actual moving under the wires and stuff, thankfully, we are in a town that has its own electric department who is extremely cooperative, both with us and easy to work with. Eric's, we both enjoy working with them a lot. Props to you guys. It will be, gosh, it could be fall before that actually.
What was our original plan for the parking lot?
Either late spring, so end of the New Horizons preschool year,
Yeah.
or beginning of the New Horizons in the fall. It was either or. We had option in Plan A,
At this
Plan
point,
B.
we sit only with a concept. I think we need to have the board approve that concept, and then we can move, we still have to move forward through a Historic Preservation Commission process and the city approval process. And we don't really have anything engineered at all yet. We have the concept drawn, so.
Okay, so I have
we would be-
a suggestion that might bridge John's concerns and what we have to do. So first of all, while it's disconnected, it's connected. If we decide to put this on the streets as a sale, public sale, and get folks to bid on it, we can put some parameters on we can put timeframe parameters, we can put all that
Yes.
thing on it. And if we do that sooner than later, if we have to go before the or before the Historic Preservation Commission, it can be part of our request, okay? If not, it could be a parallel request. Because my concern is, given all the things you described, and I know how quickly those things can happen, I also know how lengthy it can be, but the bottom line is there, from a Historic Preservation Commission perspective, do you want to keep a historic house or don't you? It's that simple. And the relocation is perfunctory. We're moving it from point A because it's not going to stay there and it's going to go to B. Getting an engineer to design a foundation for it to be received on, that's the easy part. I mean, it's easy. But I guess I would like to make sure that you could meet with our consultants to understand our real timeline.
Yeah.
Okay? And then with some consultation with the city, moreover than any individual who would be interested in it, what that timeline might look like in terms of what they think an expedited timeline looks like, because honestly, I would like to put the expedited parameters as a function of the sale.
We have discussed that.
I mean, a
yes.
realistic, but an expedited time frame, because what I don't want to do is get someone who wants this thing, this house,
Correct.
and then, my engineer missed the deadline, or, I didn't get it in on time. It's got to be tied to the sale so that we're not disadvantaged by someone just kind of protracting a process that is going to prohibit us from achieving what we need to achieve.
Attorney Rock, what do you think about it? Is that something that can be worked in easily to an agreement or a contract?
Or into the proposal process.
Yes,
Right.
up front.
Okay.
Make it
Yeah,
part of the
it's gotta be
parameter.
right.
And I'd like
And I
to
think we
see,
want to put all those parameters up, once
yeah.
Jim has an idea of what they are, include them in the request for proposals. And tell them up front, these are the expectations.
Right.
So that, and then when we do the contract, tie the proposal to that schedule, so that there are ways out for the park district if they don't keep to that schedule.
Right.
And with that, I'd like to understand, if it's not too much work, multiple timelines. One, if we don't sell the house, when we'd move forward, because I don't want a lot of disruption to our programming over there, because if that parking lot's torn up, you know what could happen. There's a lot of programming over there. I know in the summer it's probably less than when the school is in session, but there's still stuff going on over there.
And we're trying to figure out weddings right now.
Exactly, and all that stuff. And so, excuse me, I'd like to understand that. Then understand what happens if the contract can't be met. If the purchase contract can't be met, what that does to restart our timeline, to say, okay, we were going to go here, but now here's a deadline that isn't met. What will it take to move us back this way? Well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, we didn't do that, because we were waiting for, all these other things to happen. How quickly can we jump and react and move forward with the project if something happens? So I just want to know, because it's kind of a big deal. We've been talking about redoing this parking lot for how long now, right?
Ever.
And all of a sudden now it's delayed.
Yeah.
Albeit, it's a fine proposal, but I still would like to know everything around this before we get into it, so there's no, oops, kind of things going on.
I certainly understand that. I think that it is very possible, and I'm going to be actually meeting with community development folks next week about something else, but I can kind of bring this up as to the possibility of us doing a dual
Parallel.
proposal kind of project. We can get the parking lot thing restarted quickly.
Good.
And get that moving forward under 2 or 3 major assumptions. Buildings will be gone. Yes, they will allow us to do this, and they will have a lot of comments and changes that we'll probably have to, or certain things we'll have to make. But I can also maybe get an idea of what a city process timeline would be for our residents who's interested.
Okay.
And if it's, and certainly, from the very get-go, my first conversation with Attorney Price about this said, we've got to get a deadline set.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be a drop dead that, if fail-safe, that if he can't make that, or anybody, whoever it is, can't make that.
Right,
then
and
we
for
come
our
back in.
purposes, is really vacation of the property. Vacation of the house off our property by a given time, because, and that's why I want you to talk to our consultants, because as I look at where that house sits and the design that we last saw, there's a lot of work that can be done before that house has to move.
Yes.
So my point is that we can be somewhat, I won't say lenient, but we can be somewhat less aggressive by saying it has to be gone before we do anything, if we can kind of get that all playing and working very, very nicely together. But I want to have the parameters in what goes to the public as the proposed sale parameters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and understand that there's going to be a lot of damage to that site, trying to get that house out of there, that we probably didn't think of, because we were just going to take it straight down to the ground and leave a lot of that greenery that's there.
Yeah.
There's no way they're getting that house out by leaving some of these trees here. And so we need to perhaps rethink that in our proposal to the city, to say, oh, by the way, all this is going to be gone.
Well, actually, they could do us a favor too, because we do want some of those
some of it
trees
has to
gone.
go, yeah. So I understand, but
Kill two trees
I want
with
to
one
make sure
stone.
that it's still consistent with our plan, because we were going to leave some of those trees there.
Oh, absolutely.
And just, I don't know how that's written in. Right. I don't know how that's written into there to say, you got to go this way to get this out of here, because these particular trees have to stay. I don't know how that's done, but there's a lot of trees on that corner.
Yeah, we can do that. We
Yeah.
can craft that, so it says that. Sure.
So really, just to sum it up, the park board in general is in favor of staff working with attorneys and working with our engineering consultants and putting together parameters and synchronizing the timing with the parking lot construction and possible removal of the house. And we could bring this before you next month for a final
Yeah, I can
get
approval.
everything ready by that time,
Or Jim, could we even do an email vote? Or is that something we can't do an email
Is
vote?
this even so?
Well, you could do an email
Consensus.
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 So that they can keep
to-
moving forward.
And ratify.
To authorize the proposals to be
sent out.
because you're not
Right.
taking any final action
Right.
at that point. So
Okay.
you could
At least
you
they
could
can
do
keep
that,
moving
yes.
forward.
Right.
Right,
And
right. So we
ratify
keep-
anything we needed to.
Right,
and-
right.
Yeah.
To keep forward
Yeah,
momentum.
because, well, you'll take, the action the board would take in that, essentially all you're doing is looking for feedback on the proposals. In terms of the action that the board would take, it would be a vote on accepting a proposal.
Right.
Okay.
Final say,
And
yeah.
and so, and just to be careful, we're not selling properties, we're selling structures.
Right.
Structures.
Structures.
So we want
Okay.
to word anything
Right,
we
that's
put
gotta
in
be worded differently.
because the process is different for the land and the buildings.
Right.
And you've already actually taken the first step in declaring those buildings to be excess property.
Got it.
Surplus. Mhm.
So,
Can all that be done, sorry, can all that be done in a month? I mean, can you do all this, get a lot of stuff together
I
to
would-
bring something to
I
us?
would think so.
before- Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can
Like a lot.
jump on it as quickly
I
as.
do it every day. Sure.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Definitely not as busy as finance.
Oh, wow.
Now, kids, it's not a competition.
I guess I would also ask, going back to something you said, John, having the 13 North structure would need to be gone before we move forward. If we're allowed to do the expansion to the design that we would like, that one really has to be gone. 27, not so much. We can work around that
Right,
for a little
but
longer.
As far as we're concerned, we've already given you approval to start moving on 13.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Yep.
So
You're good to
that
go
would
on
not necessarily be the one that would go up for
Okay.
a proposed sale.
Right.
right.
Is
So
that-
So we can move forward with 13
yeah, because
anytime.
they're two different pieces.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if,
Okay.
you know,
Just wanted to be.
and
clear.
that one seems to be the one that's less desirable and
It
people aren't
is,
interested in,
and is
so.
in, yeah,
Right.
In dire shape.
I did this
It
once
would fall
before
apart if you tried
for
to move
the
it.
Westboro School District.
Yeah.
And we ended up going through this whole process, and we didn't get one proposal when we
Yeah.
came back. Only because they had parameters the same way. So we're not trying to make this complicated, but we have to recognize that we have to protect our interest here,
Yeah.
you know,
Very, very
as
good.
much as we'd like to have somebody.
Two quick questions. Is the garage included in this? No. Okay.
Garages are all gone.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then, when you're saying you would do a request for proposal to purchase the structure,
Structure.
so,
purchase and remove it.
Yeah.
so the Park District opens up, it's like an open bidding then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has
And
to
an
be.
individual, as a citizen, can come and say, I.
Yep.
Yeah, we-
Okay.
Under the
there could be a
caveat that they
bidding
move
war.
it someplace. It's up to them to move
Okay.
it.
There could be a bidding war. I mean, we could end up getting,
It's unlikely you'll
One
get a
proposal.
Oh, one
lot of
proposal.
proposals.
Right,
for this.
because there's not too many places you
It's a
can,
lot
it's a
of-
pretty
it's a
big
lot of
house
work.
to
Okay.
move.
that's true. It's not an auction. It's just, it's a
No,
right.
submission.
But moving a
of
house
bid.
is a
And-
big
Yeah, that's a
job.
big
To your
deal.
point, Tara, proposals may be for $5. I mean, it
Well,
it
that'll
won't
help
be,
you.
it's not going to be.
Because the cost is in the relocation of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
right,
$5 for
right.
the house, but it's
So then
half a
do
million.
we
to move
know,
it.
do we as a Park District know how much we want to
We've declared this as surplus
access
property.
property? Right, so
So,
then,
so we were going to tear it down. It was going to have zero value.
we were paid to have it.
Yeah.
Right down.
So this is the alternative.
we're
Save-
making money.
We save on the demolition of the house.
But
that's
do
us.
do we set a price of what we are looking for? No.
We could set a
Or just-
minimum.
bid.
We
It's
could
like
set a
99
minimum-
cents,
we
you
could set
take
a
it over.
minimum bid,
Okay,
but-
all right.
and
Or
at
even
this-
the minimum
Why
bid
would
could be
we- why would we
$10
do
or
that?
a
If we're gonna
dollar.
get $5, I don't wanna wait till October to
Right,
satisfy somebody
it's-
for $5.
Everything
If
is
we get
profit.
$5, then hey, too bad.
But if we get $5 and they say we're going to relocate it and it would have cost us $75,000 to tear it down, we're still money ahead.
Right.
But what's
Yeah.
that
Yes.
worse for those 4
Well,
months
and-
instead of behind?
Well,
Understood.
that's-
That's why I want to know
Keep
what
in mind,
impact it's going to.
What we'll do is include language in the request that says that the board has the right to reject all of the proposals. So for example, if you get one for $5 and that's the only one you get, and you don't think that's a good idea, then you just say, no, thank you. We're not
Do-
going to do
We
Do we-
think, somehow why you're going home tonight and do that till next month with that. You know,
Right,
to me,
because
I
there's-
mean, it's a big inconvenience for a little.
I hear you, and definitely. And do we also then have the right to say, let's say they put in a competitive bid, but we don't believe that they have the resources to move it?
Right.
You know, I mean, if it's somebody that literally puts in a
Yeah,
bid
we're
for
gonna-
10
yeah,
bucks,
we're gonna
and
help- we're
what
gonna ask them
proof
to
do we
tell
get?
us.
I understand it, but what proof do we get that says this individual has, whoever wins the bid, has the resources to move it, so that we're not waiting for 3 months for a breach of contract that they can't do it?
But I do think, though, that's why I think it's important to get the input as to what our idealized track looks like. And then we have a date in there that that house needs to be gone on this date, and if it's not gone on this date, it's breach of contract, we tear it down.
Understood, but I would hate to go through this whole process just to find out that it's not going to happen. I mean, how do we?
I mean, I shouldn't say likely, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but if we've vetted out the fact that the individual has the resources to move it, we don't really have the same worries.
Right. Well, and I would suggest we'll structure the
Okay.
request for proposals in that way, but, you know, it's.
Understood, that's all we can do, but I mean, if we didn't even do that, I
But
think,
on some, you know, if you're looking at like multi-million-dollar houses, a lot of times the real estate person will ask for a financial, some sort of statement to see if you're even financially able to buy $1 million house.
Right, to
So
show
we
your
do similar
pre-qualification
type of
to-
thing.
I wouldn't even know that, Kevin. It's people like you that know about buying multi-million-dollar houses.
Well, yeah, and I think any kind of pre-qualifications would go into the RFP, that you could,
It's not
No.
Right.
uncommon.
Okay,
That's
okay.
right.
And then, Jim,
Good.
you said that you took this one person that was interested, walk around on the 9th. Did they find it structurally sound enough to move, or? what was the opinion?
The 13 building would be difficult, as it is less, in not as good a shape. The 27 North is still a sound structure. Its bones are still sound. I don't, that's my opinion. He would have to get a moving company in there to actually look at it to say, yeah, this will be an easy move, or,
They jack it
I
up and
can't
raise
do
it for
this.
us.
Well, I think the part of the process is before they submit the proposals, because we're going to ask for all that stuff included in the proposal, that they've already done the determination as to whether or not it can be moved. They've engaged a moving company that has structural engineers.
They
'cause
have
this
a
is
bid on it.
Right, so we're saying we ask for proof of those things.
Right. But-
Pre-qualification.
And so it may be
Right,
determined
right.
during just the pre-proposal phrase that it's unfeasible.
Yeah.
And they'll come back in with a no bid and we move on.
yeah,
I mean-
or as you said, nobody bids and,
Right.
or nobody gives us a proposal. so
Exactly. So-
We're done. Yeah.
They try to pick that old house up, they may just raise it for us and problem solved.
Well, I mean, I just, again, go online and look at the video of the depot when it was relocated from Prairie all the way to where it's at now. And, I mean, that was quite the undertaking, and that was just a one-story tall structure. This is a multi-story building that's,
Yeah.
another story plus
Oh, yeah.
taller than that one. You
Right.
gotta watch that video.
but I
That's
think this is a
simple.
really good move from the park board's standpoint, because, from a public relations standpoint too, because there's a lot of support on Facebook right now for this particular structure. And even though people haven't necessarily been inside of it, there's this perceived value of it. And
Sure.
so if we open it up, equal opportunity, anyone can bid, and even though it's a finite period of time, or defined period of time, that people can bid on it, we're at least providing it, we're putting it out there,
If you're serious about it, they'll get the resources and
Right.
whatnot to do it.
right?
So, again, to help you jumpstart your work, you need to have our consultants identify two things. A date by which the structure needs to be relocated, like gone off the site, in order to minimize escalation, to Kevin's point. By delaying it by X number of months, we're increasing our costs, because costs don't go down, they go up. And then the second piece will be to make sure that it is a realistic but aggressive time frame to meet all of the entitlement approvals for historic preservation, engineering, et cetera. And then whatever parallel track this individual would need to be on, so that our dates are definitive. And if those dates aren't met, by virtue of whoever the successful low bid, if there is one, then we're going to take the house down. And we want to make sure that it's very, very clear to everybody. Because to the community that may have value perception-wise, to us, we know it. It's an old house. We've used it for a lot of different things. We've gotten our money out of it, and at this
It was
point,
well
we
used
need
when
the
we
parking
got
lot.
Yeah, we inherited it very well used.
So,
Yeah.
those are the things that I think are going to be really important.
It would be my desire to have this completed so that at a March board meeting, you would be accepting a proposal, or we would be saying, you know what, there wasn't any bidding.
So here's what I would suggest, that between now and February 15th, so we'll say.
Next
or
board
16th,
meeting?
well, within a month, that we have a laundry list of requirements set up. Then we could look at that and evaluate that, make some comments on that. If you can get it ahead of the board meeting, that'd be great.
Have a consensus by mail before
And
that.
then as soon as we're done with it, you put it on the streets, and I don't know, what do you give people, a 2-week period, or, I mean, at least 10 days, but
Yeah.
in this case, probably 2 weeks would be realistic.
Yeah.
And then
And
we
then we
could,
come up in March.
yeah, and then we could entertain it in March. And I don't think that time frame puts us behind on our project.
No, because we're still, we
Right.
need to be rolling this thing ahead,
Exactly.
so. Hopefully at the February board meeting, we would have a concept for track A
And we-
for you to
Yeah.
to
And we
actually.
can still keep doing whatever we got to do to 13.
Exactly.
And so, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and
Tear it
just-
down tomorrow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Here you go, Eric.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, it's full of bulldogs.
get the track.
It got infested
Oh,
with big
true.
bulldogs.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bulldogs Unleashed.
I understand.
They were unleashed, and that's
You
where
know
they
what
went.
I'm
It's an animal
Save the
shelter.
Bulldogs. Save the Bulldogs.
It's an animal shelter right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
great.
Is that enough direction right now?
Absolutely.
Board, thank you for your input on that one.
Very good.
Okay, next item on the agenda is 15, Fox Valley Special Rec. Any updates, or,
There was not a Fox Valley Special Rec Board meeting in December.
and
so.
Batavia Parks Foundation, anything?
I haven't, Tom is,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Tom and Katie.
Right.
when's the last
he was at the
one?
last one.
Our next meeting is, was Monday at 6:30.
Can I, so there was an email that went out about a little get-together for Matt Alman, since he's retiring. Did that ever get rescheduled? Are you aware of anything?
Oh, I thought you were going to.
I think that only went to certain people.
It did not get rescheduled to my knowledge.
You did go to it?
No, it was canceled.
I didn't see that.
I think
just
that only
got
went
the
to certain
email
people.
about it.
That's just what they told you.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Then we're good. All right, so we do not need an executive session. However, it is time to do Allison's executive director evaluation. So I will be sending out an email in the next couple of weeks with the format and forms, and then we can schedule an executive session in February for us to do that, okay?
And please let me know what you need from me. I'll be happy to provide it.
Excellent. I will let you know.
You just
you.
scream at the top of your lungs.
Another one of these.
That's mean.
You need one more? I will let you know, Allison. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
All right. Any other business to come before the board? So I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:11.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey absent. Callahan.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. We will